Ages ago, the humans of a dwindling Earth sent 3 massive colony ships through a space-time fissure on the outer edges of the solar system. 2 of those ships survived the trip and arrived in a far-flung star system with habitable worlds and unknown constellations. Those early Terran colonists uncovered ancient alien technology that allowed them to develop the mighty reactors that would power the backbone of their culture, the mecha. These massive, mechanized exosuits built the cities and settlements of a new home spread through the livable planets and moons surrounding the newfound yellow giant star, which would come to be known as Lodestar Alpha. It was during this time that the people of Lodestar Alpha experienced a sort of golden age. 3 seed ships were sent out in an attempt to expand and discover new habitable star systems before what had happened to Earth could happen again. The colonists live in relative peace for centuries, united under the rule of a noble clan called the Neo-Dominion. Then, without warning, the 3rd colony ship arrived through the space-time rift, several centuries late. Commanding unfathomable alien technology, these newcomers called themselves the Aeonic Primacy, and immediately set to work conquering and subjugating the people of Lodestar Alpha. Though human, the Aeons were alien in their methods and motives, and they quickly overpowered the militarized forces of the Neo-Dominion through the use of an ancient portal system called the Varillian Tunnels. The first of these seed ships, Nishimura, departed Lodestar Alpha over 3 centuries ago and was primarily composed of engineers, scientists, and mecha pilots. After learning of the Aeon's takeover, it was on this ship that the SABER program was born. Much has changed on Lodestar Alpha since the Nishimura's departure, and as the first of the seed ships return home, they discover that the remaining Neo-Dominion have fully integrated with the Aeons and are actively at war with the splintered remains of the Terran Collective. The war-torn system is clinging to the little hope that remains to restore peace and order as the Aeons tear through one planet after another, stripping them of their resources and leaving nothing but destruction in their wake. The elite pilots that make up the SABER programs are needed now more than ever as something ancient and sinister awakens. Our story begins with the newest pilot hopefuls. All of their journeys have led them to the Iron Dawn, the smokescreen in front of the SABER program to keep inquiring minds at bay. Through rigorous training and what some would consider unethical scientific research, they have come together to form SABER Unit 12. On the eve of one of the most important days of their lives, these young pilots will have to adapt just to survive.
Alrighty, guys. So we're going to start with Rest, and we're going to work our way over on the cameras. So Rest, tell everybody who you are and where they can find you. No sound.
Space. I'm sorry.
So I'm
this is my first TTRPG.
So I'm exclamation point pro streamer. We're gonna have to do those again because I totally had chat muted.
Wah, wah.
Wah wah. Let's just throw that in here. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll pretend that didn't happen.
We'll
start that over.
So we're gonna start over again. So we'll start with Ryan. Tell the people who you are and where they can find you.
Hey guys, once again, I'm Ryan or Restabrooks. Really excited to be here, and you can find me on any social media platform under the same handle, and I'm really excited to get this started.
All right, and next up, Jack. Tell people who you are and where they can find you.
Hello, everybody. I am Jack, and I am your pack leader. I can be found at twitch.tv/JackJacosTV. And I am very much so excited to be here with all these lovely creators.
Alrighty, and JD, go ahead and give your intro again.
Hi, I'm JD.st, and you can find me wherever nutritional products are sold. No, you can find me on Twitch and on Twitter and on MySpace, where Tom is my only friend. This is my first TTRPG. I've played lots of PC RPGs. I've played with lots of RGB, but I have never played a TTRPG. So this is exciting for JD.st. That whole thing rhymed. Okay,
that's fantastic.
Bye, Jack.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm trying to fix it. Oh god.
Just went for a run.
I use cloaking field.
Can we talk about Can we talk about how cool this background is for just a minute? Like how absolutely dope this is, Fraz, and like mad props.
Thank you guys. It's it's been a lot of work. But as I'm trying to fix Jack's cam frame here, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Theo. Tell people who you are and where they can find you.
Alrighty, well, hey everybody, I'm Theo, Theobalds Gaming, both on Twitch and on Twitter, one word. Been hanging around with Fraz for a while. She invited me over the weekend, and I said, sure, what the hey? And we'll see what happens.
And here we are, and there goes Jack again. What the heck?
Oh, no. Jack, stop using cloaking field.
I know, it's my character ability. I can't help it.
It's his booster jets.
Man, do I need to fix your whole entire mech again?
You're gonna have to.
All right, and last but certainly not least, let's turn it over to Mosh. Tell people who you are and where they can find you.
Hey guys, it's MoshXD. You can find me on Twitch and on YouTube. MoshXD is my Twitch and YouTube tag, and also find me on Twitter at MoshXD_. Nice to meet you guys, and I'm looking very much forward to this.
All right. As I mess with overlays just for a moment longer, because they're being dumb, I went to extend Jack's frame so that it took up the whole thing, and the frame itself just yeeted to a completely different place. Overlays, guys. They're great.
Pulling a Jack move.
They're fantastic.
Question:
Okay.
Does Control-Z fix it?
No, there is no
OBS
Control-Z in OBS
Studio.
Studio.
Unfortunately, no.
Ew.
About all
There is no such thing.
I was just about to go there too.
All right, so real quick, I do have some music playing in the background. I just want to make sure that everybody can in Discord can hear it, and make sure that the stream can hear it as well. So,
yes.
All right, awesome. Alpha, what's up? How you doing? Welcome. Okay, turn studio. I can see all your beautiful faces. There we fixed it. All right.
Oh my god, I'm back.
He's back.
Jack uncloaks.
Pop.
All right. So, without further ado, first of all, thank you guys all so much for coming and being a part of this. I know that Ryan and Theo, you guys are both last-minute entries into this whole thing, but I am pleased as punch to have you guys here, and it means a lot that you guys would come and hang out with me. This is the first time I've been in the GM seat for about 10 years, so I'm a little rusty, but we're going to roll with it, and hopefully we can provide some fantastic entertainment for you all and just have a whole lot of fun together. So, without further ado, can't hear the music, or at least it's very quiet. Okay, we will just bump it right on.
Yeah, I lost the music too.
Yeah.
Well, it says that you minimized your application, so it's not streaming to us anymore.
Is that better?
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cool.
Ooh,
Roger,
yeah.
Roger.
All right, so without further ado, let's begin. We open on a cloudless, starlit sky. The stars twinkle and shoot across the horizon, almost as if following some kind of predetermined celestial pattern. As our vision pans down, the spotless sky becomes mottled and blurred through a dense layer of smog. You hear a distant thundering, metallic boom, rhythmic and seemingly unyielding. We pan down further and see a massive drill, at least 200 meters tall, burrowing deep beneath the earth. Down even further, and we see workers moving about, and we hear the whirring of machinery and the ominous stomping footsteps of mecha on patrol. On the outskirts of this scene, 4 mecha move into position, wading through dark waters, their watertight seals releasing with a near silent Quinn, you have the best vantage point from where you are, inside your machine. Please describe to us what you see as you approach your objective, this massive planetary drill burrowing towards the planet's core with your compatriots, Ralph, Signus, and Lightryder.
Calmly done. I'd like to report three enemies nearing the drill. I am at a high vantage point, and I am looking in, seeing what I can scout. Like I said, I see three enemies moving around towards the drill. Other than that, there is not a lot within.
You want to describe what your mecha looks like as you're seeing this?
Oh yeah, sorry.
My mecha is relatively small, completely jet black, with glowing red eyes. Around my left arm, I have a large metal chain wrapped around my arm with on my right arm, I have a auto crossbow. Guess that's... Yeah, my mech is much smaller than most mechs, as I am a very small human being. Yeah.
All right. So next, that would be closer to the front, would be our... Uh-oh, my Spotify crashed. No! Hang on.
Oh no.
Why? Why does it keep doing that?
It moved everything.
It moved. Of course it moves everything. Of course it does.
Today the role of Jack will be played by JD.
Where is Spotify? Where is Spotify? What the heck?
Excuse chat for some technical difficulties.
Yeah, one moment please. Momento, por favor.
Ralph now pitching for. No, never mind.
There we go. Okay. All right. We fixed it.
I failed so hard.
I think we're fixed. I think we fixed it. All right.
There it is.
Okay, and the music got a lot louder too.
Yes, it did.
Yep. Okay, cool. So, the next person who would likely be close to the front is our other scout, Cygnus. Would you like to describe your character as well as what you see and how you approach the situation in front of you?
Well, so my mech looks very much like almost like a humanoid figure. Not very bulky, not very big. Mostly a dark silhouette of a humanoid with little dark green pieces of metal and little bits of black and green. Hiding behind a rock, observing the situation, and also equipped with a wakizashi and a short bow.
Okay. Let's see. Next up, who would like to go next? Lightryder or Ralph? All right, we'll go.
JD's muted.
Oh, okay. Whoever wants to go ahead. If you're good, go for it.
Oh god, I spaced out. I'm sorry.
Just describe your mech as you're approaching this giant drill.
So, my mech's a just massive Titan, heavily armored behemoth, kind of slowly stomping up behind everybody. In the hands of the mecha is a large, heavy chain gun, and on my right shoulder is sitting a shoulder-mounted mortar launcher.
Very nice, very nice. All right, and last but not least would be Ryder.
Hello. Yeah, so I'm a little bit behind Jack, and I'm a little bit larger in a larger mech. Black on gold for me. I'm super fast, light armor. And I just carry a revolver. I just carry a pistol and a sword on my back, and that's it. So I try to jump in and jump out and hit hard, hit fast, get the heck out of Dodge. So
Very nice.
That's that. And it looks like two of these. It does look like two of these guys are little teeny tiny ants, and the other one's about a mid-size. I think we could take them pretty easy, Jack.
Affirmative.
Quinn.
So as you approach the scene, and you come up a little bit closer, coming out of the murky water, you see that there are additional mecha that you did not see in the beginning. Your count totals 6 enemy mecha units guarding the drill, as well as 2 turrets.
So
what would you
forget
like to do?
Forget about what I just said a second ago. There's more than there are of us.
They look, well, here, I will have Quinn or Signus, one of you guys, roll a, let's do a systems check. If both of you want to roll, go ahead. Have our scouts roll a systems check for me. Now remember, it is a roll under mechanic, so if you, as long as you are under, if you are at or above, it is a failure. If you are underneath, it is a success.
D6, right?
It's a D20
Okay.
for your check, your tests.
19.
So get your worst rolling die that you've ever had and throw that one.
I rolled a
only keep
19.
the good ones.
Okay, so that's a failure for you, I believe, Cygnus?
Yes.
Okay. Jack, what did you roll?
I got a 1?
That is a critical success.
Nice.
So, Jack, Quinn, you see 6 mecha recruits. They are standard issue off the assembly line infantry mechs. Seem to have a basic loadout. They've got a shield and a submachine gun equipped.
Okay. And what about the turrets?
The turrets are just small deployable turrets. They are like just standard again as well, and are definitely point defense and immobile.
Okay. Just a building question.
Mm-hmm.
Are
I
these-
swear to Glob. Okay.
Are these able to move 180 degrees or like 360 degrees?
Hold one moment. From your vantage point, they would be probably closer to 160 degrees.
Okay, perfect.
I have to fix this again. We're going to try using Groove instead because Spotify keeps crashing. So that's a serious issue. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but
It's just engineers are working on technical difficulties.
we're gonna try this instead.
Hang in there.
Okay. All right. I think we got it going again. Sorry, guys. Okay. So you have the lay of the situation from your comm link from Quinn. What would you all like to do?
Can we go home? I'm really hungry. Like, do we have to deal with these guys right now? Like, is there like an actual reason we have to deal with? I'm asking
We're
for a
trying to make
friend.
it to the drill.
What? Why?
So you know that before you were deployed onto this battlefield in particular, your mission objective was to stop the Aeons from continuing to drill into this planet's surface and strip another planet of all of its resources.
No, didn't get a memo. No.
Who was the other
Last time
scout?
I remember right later, probably taking a nap during the briefing.
Who was the
There
other
was a briefing. When was the briefing? Hold on. I don't understand. When was the briefing? Joker. Joker, did you say?
Oh shoot!
Do you not remember sitting in through that whole entire briefing lecture? Did someone poison you or drop a little forget?
Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
Okay.
You know my memory's not what it should be, but I don't remember that at all. Anyway, so okay, we have to go to the drill. Fine, let's go. I just wanted to know what we were doing. Can we eat when we get back?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm
I
still
feel like,
trailing behind everyone else a little bit. Like from my vantage point, I don't think I could see over the crest. So
Saber Romeo to Saber Deceiver. How close is the enemy gathered together?
I love the voices, guy.
So Jack, how close is the enemy?
Oh.
He's asking you how close the enemy
Sorry, I
is
didn't catch that. Sorry.
to each other.
Romeo, we've got 2 deployed turrets. Did Fraz, you said 150 meters, was it?
Approximately. So I would say that they are at a close, a near distance to each other.
To each other, good.
Yes.
And
To each other, okay.
okay.
As
one
far
of the-
as the mech, there are 2 stationed closer, like close to the turrets, and then there are also 4 more just on a general patrol pattern.
Okay.
By
So
any chance of where I'm positioned at, can I shoot an arrow and see if that can at least cause a distraction?
I mean, yeah, you can. You guys are considered at a far distance right now, so I believe at a far distance you would have a disadvantage. So that would be a +2 to your attack
But
roll.
we're not.
I also want to.
Get closer though.
You can get closer. Yeah, from where you guys are considered at a far distance.
Who's the
and
other scout in the party?
it's Cygnus, Mosh.
Mosh? Okay.
All right.
Okay. One of the things that we didn't really go over, Fraz, the splash radius on the mortar and its overall range, or is it the range at any engagement distance just with disadvantage?
The range would be for your mortar. It would be at disadvantage at anything closer than a far distance. So where you are right now is like the optimal range for your mortar.
And then we didn't go over anything like splash damage or anything
Nope,
like
you'll
that.
figure that out if you fire it.
Okay.
Let's see. Should I let Romeo just shoot his mortar, or should I go in close?
So their names are
Or
up
should Deceiver
at the
not
top,
just jump in there
and then their
take care of business
class
up close? We're close enough
is
to...
down at the bottom. So SABER Romeo is their call sign, and then their top name is their character name.
Joker,
And
if
then
you could
this
distract the enemy,
is
get them to
their
cluster
pilot
up, I
type
can
as
fire
well
a mortar,
as
and then
their
the lighter units can
chassis
perform
type.
cleanup around the edges.
Ooh. Let's do it.
All right.
Joker was definitely paying attention. Let's go with that plan.
So Striker and I should take a left flank and push towards turrets. Whilst Titan and Scout continue to try to close in on the location of the 4 mechs. And Striker, what are you doing?
So that would be addressed to you, JD, Lightryder.
Hey, listen, I'm still thinking about lunch, honestly. No, we're...
Striker.
Yeah, so that's their pilot types. Yeah.
Sorry, okay.
So that's everybody's. This is everybody's call
There we
signs.
go. That's what I was looking for.
Yep. This is everybody's call signs. So we have Jack as Saber Deceiver, JD as Saber Phoenix, Theo as Saber Romeo, and Mosh as Saber Joker.
It rolled over onto like
Yep.
the commander.
Got
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry, that was addressed to 0.
There we go.
Deceiver,
all
I
good.
gotta say, we do think alike.
Maybe.
All right. So what's the plan here, guys?
I still say we go for it.
Yeah,
You guys distract. We jump in on either side on the center once the distraction's handled, and we take out these 2 guys in the center first, and then the couple of stragglers I'm not too worried about it. What size mechs are they? I can't see them from my vantage point.
They're probably a little bit smaller than than your mechs.
Yeah, they're just little scouts. Let's just take them out.
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily that they're just like little, but they are probably like a full size violin compared to like a 3/4 size violin. So they're a little bit smaller, but not by much.
Would you say they're smaller or larger than I am?
Than you, they are
larger.
larger than you.
I believe they would be larger than me, correct?
Yeah, our scouts
pretty
are the
tiny.
smallest mechs in the party. By far, Deceiver is the smallest mech, with Joker coming in as the next step up. And then we've got our Striker class, our Striker chassis, and then our just absolutely massive Titan as well.
I'm
I wonder if there's something I
mid-size.
can make to extend our range for our weapons and see if we can do something with extra parts. Maybe make a grenade.
So I feel like the first thing that I would like to do. You said that we would be considered at a far distance.
Yes, you guys are at a far distance right now.
I would like to close into at least near distance if possible.
Okay.
JD, I also do believe that.
Yeah, I
Phoenix
need to close
should
in.
move up as well. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So,
Are you engaging your cloaking field when you move in?
I don't have that, but I can jump jet in.
We can work with this.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna use my casting ability for cloaking field.
Okay.
That tests my presence.
Yes.
It recommends that the smaller mechs do not get too close before the mortar lands.
Fair.
Yeah. So actually, Jack, sorry, I'm incorrect on that. I was thinking you're hollow. That's the one that tests your presence. You need to roll your reactor die on this one.
Reactor die. That's a 1d4.
That is it's a D6 for your reactor die.
Oh, mine says 1d4 here.
It should be a D6.
Okay. That's 2.
Okay, so that is a failure. So you're
Low roll with success.
not on a reactor die.
That's very confusing.
Yeah, so on a reactor die, if you roll a 1 or a 2, it's considered a failure.
He
So-
said that's very confusing.
It is a little confusing.
Everything else is high roll in most D&D games,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And having one mechanic as like a low roll and one mechanic as a high roll.
Yeah, it's so essentially like the way that the reactor die works is that if you want to avoid like downgrading it. So if you're downgrading, then if you roll a 1 or a 2, then you downgrade your reactor. You don't forget about the other feature that you have as well. So
Were you talking more of my hollow clone or my cloaking field? Because
Your cloaking
totally
field.
different things.
your cloaking field and your hollow clone both will test your reactor.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very confused about how that works now because I thought we said the hollow clone tested presence.
Yeah, your hollow clone will test your presence, but then you still have to roll a reactor die.
It's
So a
both.
reactor die is
Okay.
a different mechanic than the testing.
Okay.
So the presence test with your hollow clone is to see if it influences the enemies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If that's the case, can I move forward within like shooting my bow range?
Yeah, so you can move up to a near distance.
Are we considering near distance for like range weapons?
Yeah, I mean you guys like for a near distance, it's what did we say? It was near distance is about 30 meters. So give or take. I would say that if you have a heavy ranged weapon, then you can shoot at far or even distant. But for a light ranged weapon, you're going to need to be like within the cusp of that near and far area. So anywhere between 60 and 30 meters. So if you moved up to
is there any place where I can hide myself, like a rock or anything where I can take cover?
Yeah, so you guys are in kind of like an abandoned docks area where you came up out of the water. So at this point, the drill is like an offshore drill, essentially. And you have come up from like essentially like the drop off. So you guys were deployed into the ocean and have now come up and are headed in towards away from like the depths of the ocean and into a like derelict dock area. So there is cover, yes.
I want to see if I can get. I want to move to cover and get close enough within shooting range with the mama bow.
Okay, go right ahead.
Ooh, okay.
Oh,
right, so
also
I'm
my
proud.
roll.
So, so Jack, if you want to utilize your other skill that you have, you can to prevent your reactor from downgrading. Because on a roll of a 1 or a 2, your reactor would downgrade from a D6 to a D4.
D4.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I will use. So that's my module, correct?
That's your one with the machine.
One with the machine.
Yes.
Okay.
So what you would do is you would sacrifice 2 armor points to prevent your reactor from overheating.
Okay. Yes, I will do that. That
Okay.
takes my armor down to 4.
So as you are engaging your cloaking field, hi sweetie, come here. Huh? Sorry, kiddo. What's up? Yes, I will be more quiet. I'm sorry. Do you want to come sit with me for a minute?
Children, am I right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Okay, so Quinn, SABER, Deceiver, as you are engaging your cloaking field, something that you have done countless times at this point, you feel as though the weight of this mission is weighing on you a little bit more heavily than you had expected, and you flip an extra switch, and it's just enough of a load on your very small mech to cause your reactor to start to overheat. But you channel your connection with this machine and are able to shrug it off. You know, you're going to sacrifice a little bit of armor to do it, but you do manage to keep your reactor from overheating.
Just brush that off, bro. Just brush
Yeah.
it off.
What's that, armor?
Yes.
God.
Who needs armor anyway? So a couple of the riveting that are holding like your shoulder pad and like maybe part of your chest plate kind of pop off a little bit just in the excess stress from the overheating of the metal.
Okay.
But you do successfully engage your cloaking field and advance to a near distance.
Okay, so I look around and find a little, not rock, but a little like a bunch of crates and like maybe an empty like storage warehouse area, and I decided to run over there.
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to do anything before we engage into an initiative style battle here?
I'm already near, right? So I don't really need to do anything.
So, Romeo's just going to move in, just ready to crest the hill, kind of just getting ready for indirect fire support.
Okay. All right. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and ask that everyone roll an initiative, which is your mobility test.
Okay. So it has to be under that
Under,
number, correct?
yes, under the big numbers, yes.
I got a 5. My
Okay.
mobility is 17.
So that's a pass for you.
I failed. I'm at 14.
Okay. So we
I
have.
got a 15.
All right. Was that under? Is that under your mobility?
No, it's one over.
Okay. So we have.
Low key, very happy I changed out my mobility skill.
JD, how about you?
I rolled an 8.
Okay.
And I have a 15 for mobility, so
All right.
Jeez.
did I do that right?
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
Good job, Phoenix.
Newbie luck.
Okay. All right. So we will start our initiative with Quinn as you are cloaked and advancing on these enemy mecha and the turret installations around this drill. You're muted.
Am I in between that 10 and 30 meter range?
Yes. At this point,
perfect. Yes. I would like to move into close range and use my offhand chain to essentially wrap the legs of one of the mechs that are at the turrets.
Okay. I'm gonna have you go ahead and test power for that one.
Power?
Actually, never mind. Never mind. I'm a liar. I have to test a mobility.
Okay.
That is a critical failure. So go ahead and you will roll 2d6.
2d6?
Yep, because it is a critical.
2 and a 3.
Okay, so that is 5 points of damage to one of these mecha recruits. You go up to it, and the chain wraps around with such force that it crushes the mech and just falls limp, steaming up in the air. And nobody really knows where it came from because all they saw was just this mech just indent upon itself and with no explosion or anything else, just and it falls as you release the chain.
A normal boy JD wants to follow up on that.
Nice shot, Deceiver.
All right.
Yeah, so I
got
think
one mech down.
I think so. Okay, so can I use my jump jets and jump in and stab this other guy right in the face?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, let's do that. How do I do that?
Whatever
that is, let's do that.
All right, let me double check here. Let me pull up your character sheet. It's just going to be easier to do that than try it. All right, so jump jets. I will need you to roll your reactor die.
Okay.
So for you, that is a D8.
Yep. Four.
Okay, I believe that is a pass for you. So nothing happens. You go ahead and you just jump right on in.
Okay.
Go ahead and test power for me for your attack.
Okay, so when you say that, am I still using what die do I use
Now
for
you
that? A
use
D20?
anytime that I tell you to test an attribute, so power, mobility, system, or presence, those are D20 rolls.
And then the hit, damage, and reactor are D8.
Yes, correct.
Okay, just making sure. I thought I knew. I just wanted to make sure I did it right.
Nope,
okay,
you're
cool.
totally fine.
Sweet. Okay, so now D20. 14.
Is that under your power?
Yeah. Oh no, I have a 13 for power.
All right, so you jump up towards this other mech that is standing next to where you know that the cloaked form of SABER's Deceiver is standing, and you bear down, pulling your sword out of its holster, and come down, and it just dodges out of the way, seeing the glow from your afterburners on your jump jets. And it has just enough time to get out of the way, but you scrape the side of the metal, not enough to penetrate, but enough to let them know that you're there and you mean business.
Missed it by that much.
All right, it is now their turn. So this mecha recruit that you have just scratched, and he sees his compatriot fall next to him, the armor, the very
crushed in itself.
Crushed in. It is very standard issue. It is not reinforced armor plating at all. He sees that just indent upon itself, turns and looks at you, is still confused how this other mech has somehow managed just magically fallen next to him. But he is going to go ahead and attack you with his shield bash. I need you to test mobility for me. Yes, you. Because this is just to see if you can dodge it.
Gotcha.
What? You have a loose tooth? Oh, no, you have
10.
one coming. 10? Okay, so that is a
15
success for you,
mobility.
correct?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, so once again, you see it, you anticipate the retaliation after missing your first attack. He goes to bash you with his shield, and you utilize the residual power of your jump jets to just get back just far enough out of the way. It is going to go ahead and pursue you, keeping you at a near distance to it so that it can attack again on its next turn. The other three, hearing this commotion and continuing on their patrol pattern, they turn and hear the indenting creaks of the first mecha that was felled by Quinn, which, by the way, I need to... Not that. I need that one.
Yeah, but did I die?
I don't know why it's not working.
Not yet.
Okay.
The way I play.
So I have chat commands set up for when you guys kill things, but to keep track of. But for whatever reason, it's not
Quinn
working right now. So I'm just gonna have to keep track of that. So at any rate, these other three mecha come around and they start advancing upon your position. They are able to close in on both of you. Let's see. I'm going to need both of you to roll a mobility check when you are at advantage because of your cloaking field.
Okay. That is mobility, you said?
Yes, mobility.
I got a 7. My
Okay.
mobility 17.
All right. JD?
Still with the D20, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. 14.
Okay, which is for both of you, tests under your mobility, so you manage to dodge the three mechs that are coming towards you. Two of them surround you because they can see you, and the other one is just kind of swinging wildly about trying to figure out the location of what crushed his compatriot. All right.
It's me.
Cygnus, you have the higher mobility score of the two of the remaining mechs. What would you like to do?
So I would like to shoot my arrow.
All right, go for it. I will need you to roll
Shoot
a
your shot.
power test for me.
And 16.
Is that a fail or a
It's
success?
too high. It's a fail.
Okay. So you get behind the rock and are kind of just trying to peek out around and get one in line of sight just as Lightryder comes down and misses it enough to drive it back, and your arrow whizzes between Lightryder and the enemy mecha. Are you going to continue to bunker down, or would you like to move?
I would like to move on top of that. Like look around and see if there's a building I can climb on top of and move there.
Okay. There aren't necessarily buildings, but there are some wreckage of battleships and things of that nature in the general area that you can use to get a higher vantage point.
Yep, I'll move to the wreckage area and try to get a higher vantage point.
Okay. I'm going to have you go ahead and test mobility for me just to make sure that you can get up there.
And 19.
Okay, which is under your mobility. Okay, so I'm going to say that you spend the rest of your turn climbing up on top of this, the wreckage of this old battleship.
Okay.
All right, Ralph, what would you like to do?
So how close are the three encroaching mecha to the smaller units of ours that are currently in the battlefield?
Currently, they are all on top of each other at this point. Yeah. It is very, very close quarters combat. However, they were unable to, because of the surprise by Quinn and his just absolute murking of that first mecha, they have been unable at this point to activate their turrets. So the turrets are still stationary and deactivated for the moment. You don't know for how long.
How close are the turrets to each other?
The turrets are, I'm going to say, probably within a near distance of each other. So within probably that 20 to 30 meter range.
Okay. So Ralph is going to crest the overhill then, so he gets a direct line of sight. And let's see. He's going to want to use the chain gun to attack the nearest surviving enemy mech.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your power test for me.
3.
All right, that is a success. I'm going to need you to go ahead and roll a d10 damage die for me.
Ooh.
Also,
All
what's
right.
your presence score? Because I had it on here and then I don't have it anymore.
They're all the power 16. Everything
right.
else is a 9.
Everything else is a 9. Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember now.
All right, so D10.
Yep.
That's wrong dice. I'm like, that's an 11.
That's a D12. One down for that.
9.
9. Okay. So you come up and crest the hill and just bring down this massive chain gun and just let it roar into this enemy mech. And you guys hear and see the muzzle flash even from this distance. And it just absolutely tears through this other mecha who was closing in on your allies.
So prior to letting loose that hail of just lead and death.
I told you, little friends, not to get so close. Now Ralph has to do all the hard work.
What is the damage on all of us?
No, you guys are safe.
I didn't use the mortar. If I used the mortar, you'd probably all be splattered.
I would say that if you use the mortar, you've used it enough times to know where the splash damage is, and you can aim it to where it's not going to harm your allies in this particular situation. Because there's a lot of space in between you and everything else.
Well, yeah, but you said they were all on top of each other, so...
Yeah, they are pretty much all on top of each other at this point.
Yeah.
So... All right, so at this point, this is when the turrets activate. So they have had enough time to figure out that they're under enemy attack, and now we need to activate our point defense system. You assume that whoever the commanding officer of these mecha are have transmitted a signal to the turrets, activated them, and brought them online. So, Ralph, Cygnus, I need you both to roll mobility tests for me as 2 turrets laser beam and point at each of your directions.
I rolled a 2.
Okay, so that's a pass for you.
Ew, I failed. 17.
Okay, so you are going to take...
Uh-oh.
I rolled so poorly. You take 1 point of damage.
Armor damage?
This is going to go through your HP.
Okay.
Yep. These are equipped with armor-piercing rounds, expecting mecha attack.
Little flea.
All right. Quinn, it is back to you.
I'm still
I'll be right
cloaked.
back. I can still hear.
You're good.
I'm still cloaked, correct?
Yes, you are still cloaked for the moment.
Okay. How close are these activated turrets to me?
They are, I would say, within a near distance of you. So you have surpassed the enemy lines at this point and have gone past the 2 point defense turrets. Like what I'm imagining is they are
We've
like
got essentially 5 mechs.
at this point you have 3 because you've destroyed 1 and Ralph has destroyed 1 as well.
Oh, he destroyed 1. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. I would
Or
like
sorry.
to
4. Sorry, 4.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Because there was 2 and then there was 4. Okay.
Yeah, there were 6 total.
So I would like to use my my auto crossbow and try to shoot an arrow down the barrel of one of the turrets.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
And I would like to go a further step and like to take the one that's pointing at the one that is pointing at Signus.
Okay. Go right ahead. Roll a power test for me.
Power test. That is a 7.
All right, that is a success for you. So go ahead and deal 1d6 damage to this
Nice.
turret.
That's a 5, baby. Woo!
All right, so you
What a shot!
you shoot it
right down the pipe.
You shoot it down the pipe, and it jams the barrel, but it is still effective, and it looks like it could trigger some kind of self-destruct sequence. However, it is still quote unquote standing, but barely. So
I got you, Cygnus.
Appreciated. Appreciate it, Quinn. Appreciate it. Really do.
all right, Lightryder, you are up.
So bad.
Okay. So what do we got left?
At this point, you have a mostly disabled turret, and 4 enemy mecha, from what you can see.
Are they all near each other? Is there
Yeah,
anything we can do?
there are two that are on top of you. And then the turret is probably within about 60 to 70 meters away from you.
Well, if they're both near to me, let me pull out the revolver and go for headshots on each one since I get two, right?
Yeah, so you can, okay, so...
I don't have to move closer to...
Correct.
No.
So you get 3 actions per turn, technically. Now, if you do more than one action of the same type, so if you take two attack actions, you can do that, but you would be rolling a reactor die to make sure that you don't overheat.
All right, that's fine.
So if you would like to go ahead and roll a power test on the first shot for me real quick.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Start secretly
9 against a 13 for power, right?
Okay, so that is a pass. Go ahead and roll a d8 damage against this mech that is in front of you.
7.
Okay, that is enough to fully pierce through the head of this mecha and just blow the head right off of it. Go ahead and roll your power test for the second shot.
Oh wait, there we go.
And that's a 2.
Okay, that is another success. Go ahead and roll another d8 damage die, and then we will roll the reactor test.
1.
Okay, so this mecha, you take your target off the first one, and then you turn, and you are not really sure if you're aiming down the right sight, but something happens, and your aim is just a little bit off, and you just clip the visor of this mech.
Oh.
So 1 disabled, 1 is injured, but still very much alive. Go ahead and roll a reactor test for me. So that is your D8 reactor die.
And that's a 2.
Okay, so that is a failure. If you roll a 1 or a 2 on a reactor die, that is a failure.
Okay.
So you can, your reactor would downgrade unless you wish to use your additional perk.
I have a reactor charge thing, don't I?
You have a reactor charge, but you also have the one with the machine perk.
Oh, right.
Which one is better to use?
I mean, honestly, in this point, I believe your reactor charge can only help
someone else.
Yeah, and you can't do it in the moment. It would have to be an upgrade later.
All right, so then let's do one with the machine then.
Okay, so go ahead and sacrifice 2 armor points, and you keep your reactor die intact. Your reactor.
How many armor points did I start? Was I supposed to have started with? Sorry.
For you, it's 8.
Okay, it's whatever. Okay, so I lose 2 off of that. So
Yes.
all right, I'm down to 6 out of 8. Got it. Yep. And then what am I doing? Sorry.
Then that's it. So
okay, cool. Sweet.
So at this point, you feel your reactor begin to overheat as you take the second shot, and you clip the visor, and you channel the connection that you have with this mecha that you have been in countless times before, and manage to keep the reactor from overheating by surging your own nervous system into the core of the machine. As you take this second shot, around the corner, coming out of its own cloaking field, is a much larger, sleeker, and terrifying looking mech. It is at least twice your size, and it towers over all of you. In its hand, it holds a beam sword, and you recognize this as an Aeon mech. It advances on your position, and I need you to roll a mobility test for me.
Am I still cloaked?
You are still cloaked currently, yes.
Lucky Quinn.
For now. However, you don't know if your cloak is effective against this particular type of machine.
Let's hope.
Lightryder, what did you roll on your
7.
mobility? Okay, so you managed to dodge So as this hulking, massive, sleek machine advances on your position, swinging this, essentially it's a giant lightsaber, guys, okay? Swinging this beam sword towards you, you manage to like Neo your mech out of the way as it just right on top of your face. Your HUD fizzles a little bit from just the sheer proximity of this plasma weapon.
Well, that was close.
And as this happens, I need all of you to test your systems as the drill pummels down once again with a thunderous metallic boom, and it expels this magnetic energy from the core of the planet. So I need all of you to roll a system test.
I rolled an 18.
Okay, so that's a failure from Ralph. Quinn?
Out of 10.
Is this a mobility check?
This is a system check.
Oof.
So, Lightryder, that's a failure from you because
Tie
you
goes
met...
to the runner.
Putting my belief in the heart of the cards.
All right. So far we have 2 failures.
I got a 5!
That's a success. No. Okay, so 2 failures, 1 success. Cygnus, what did you roll on your system check?
7.
All right, so that's a success for you as well. Okay, so
my boy.
For Lightryder and Ralph, you both are taking a moment to try and recalibrate your systems as they fizzle and crack inside of your HUD and around you. And for the moment, your HUD is dark and static, and you have no situational awareness to what is happening.
So Ralph's going to just kind of kick the inside of the cockpit.
Come on, you stupid piece of junk. Stop. Don't cut on me now.
Which none of you hear because your comlink is currently disabled due to this magnetic activity.
He's still doing it. He doesn't care.
Ralph, you okay there? Can't hear you, buddy. Where you go? We missed you. We missed you, buddy.
So Ralph and Lightryder, for the moment, have gone dark. And as this is happening, the 2 mechs that are in the general proximity still, so it is one mech on Lightryder and 1 mech on Quinn, make their attacks. So Quinn, you get a mobility check at advantage, and Lightryder, you get another just base mobility check.
Eight.
Okay, so that's a pass for you. Quinn, how you, buddy?
Oh, sorry, I heard Lightryder.
So I need it's a mobility test for you and Lightryder.
Mobility, okay.
Yeah, mobility.
Copyright.
Yeah, sorry, I got a 6.
Okay, so that's a pass for you, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I have
cool.
17.
So you managed to maintain your cloak, and this 1 mech is still just swinging wildly about with its shield, trying to find any purchase against it. Lightryder, you continue your momentum from dodging backwards, doing the limbo against this Aeonic mech, and back handspring through behind you and continue to hold a defensive stance. Let's see. It is Signus's turn.
Okay. The turret that Quinn has jammed, is it still, like, if it explodes, if I shoot an arrow into it, is it possible to at least take out the 2 enemy mechs?
Go ahead and roll a systems test for me.
13.
That is a pass for you, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So from what you can tell, the shot into the barrel was enough to completely destabilize the mechanism, and any kind of self-destruct or anything like that would more likely be an implosion rather than an explosion. So collateral damage, probably not so much, but definitely if you manage to land a shot, you would completely disable.
Out of the 2 enemy mechs that are on Quinn and JD, what is their health?
So there are 3 on them, and technically there are 4. So 3 just standard issue, and then the 1 hulking giant Aeonic mech. The only one of them has been damaged so far.
Okay.
and it's a standard
Is
issue
there any
mech.
weak points that I can hit with my bow to at least make one trip over or like immobilize if possible?
I would say I'll give you the option to take a targeted shot with a +2 to your power test.
Okay. I got a 3.
Okay, so that is a success. So did you roll a natural 1?
No, I rolled a 3.
You rolled a 3, so +2 is 5, so it's still a success. Okay, cool. I was gonna say, if you rolled a natural 1, that's a critical hit, and that completely changes things. So you see this one mech who has been, do you want to take out one of the ones that's undamaged or the one that's damaged?
Undamaged.
Okay, so the one that is undamaged, you go ahead and aim surefire down the sight. Go ahead and roll your damage die.
That's a D6.
Yes, that is a D6 for you.
6.
Okay, so
You having fun over
that's
there, JJ?
fantastic. I love it. So you managed to land a perfect
You gotta tell-
headshot as you aim down with your short bow, and it just pierces clean through and actually lands in the chest of the mech that is behind it, not damaging it, but it is enough to make it clear that, hey, I'm here and I'm gonna take you out. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Let's see. If I haven't drawn any attention, I would like to change spots. If there's
Okay.
another place better. Place for me.
You know for sure that at least one turret has seen your position, but that turret is pretty much disabled at this point. You don't know whether or not the Aeonic Vet has spotted yet.
I'll probably just go back into hiding in the same spot then.
Okay. All right, Ralph, what would you like to do now?
So Ralph is going to take note of the Aeonic mech, and that it's kind of the big boy on the course right now, and is going to start aiming the mortar at the kind of upper torso, trying to, deflect any blast radius from the friends on the ground.
Okay. I will let you take a targeted shot. So you have, this is considered a heavy weapon. So you already have a +2 to it. So if you want to take a targeted shot, it would be an additional +2. One moment. But if you wanted to try and aim it behind the Aeonic mech and encourage the splash damage from behind, you could do that without an additional disadvantage.
I'll do that one then. So behind, because yeah. Okay. Rolled a 7.
Okay, so that is a success. I need you to go ahead and grab 4d4 for me for your mortar in damage.
God.
And as the only one that's probably close enough to hear this is Signus, and you just hear this as the mortar is released and rockets into the air with a light trail coming down behind it. And you lose sight of it for a minute until it hits the ground, and this massive 20-meter blast radius just reeks out from behind this Aeonic mech. And it's just a fireball behind enemy lines. And because of your high systems, Cygnus, you see the just wavering outline of where you know Quinn is cloaked.
Am I allowed to message Quinn?
So, little friends, you may want to watch out below.
So I rolled overall 10 on that.
Okay. So, Quinn, Lightryder, the two of you don't have any inkling that this is coming until you receive the now restored comlink message of your friend Ralph. And Lightryder, as your systems begin to come back online, before you can see fully what has happened around you, you hear this just massive explosion, and it rocks like the inside of your machinery.
Is it my turn next?
Yes, you are next. As far as the Aeonic mech, it looks really messed up. Really messed up, but still standing.
Is Lightryder in range of the explosion?
Both of you, because Ralph has a keen sense of where his mortar can implode from, you both are clear from the explosion.
Okay. And can you explain what sections of the mech is actually hurt, the Aeonic mech specifically?
So you can see that part of the external, like sleek, almost chitinous form of this mecha has the shoulder points as well as part of the chest, and about half of the visor have just absolutely been blown off of this thing, but it is definitely still standing and still imposing.
Okay, and you said how close I was?
You
near?
are within near distance of like all of this chaos.
Near distance within 30. Okay. I would like to use my offhand chain and wrap it around the head of the Aeonic mech using the explosion as almost a cover for what I'm doing. I'm also still cloaked, correct?
Yes.
Perfect.
Go ahead and roll a power test for me.
That is a 6.
Okay, which I believe for you is a success, yeah?
Yep,
okay.
I have a 10 power.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and roll a d6 damage die for me.
A 2.
Okay, so you wrap the chain around the visor of this mech, and as you do so, what normally you would expect the crushing power for it to have, it doesn't seem to have as much oomph as you're used to.
That's scary.
Oh shit.
Can I charge his reactor?
Let's see. For you, let me look at this real quick.
I should be able to.
Yo, I know what I'm gonna do if you do.
Says my reactor die improves 1 step up to them.
Right.
Their reactor die will improve a step.
So
can I do it?
He's
here,
already.
Or do I have to wait?
He's already at his maximum reactor die.
I thought he was low from a previous thing.
No, because he engaged his one with a machine. And also remember, if you guys have utilized that you can only use it once per long rest. So keep track of that.
Okay, 10-4. All right.
And what are we considering a long rest and a short rest in this?
A long rest would be like a full night's sleep. Short rest would be like back to base, take a nap, have lunch kind of thing. So we're talking like the difference between 8 to 10 hours and 2 to 3 hours.
Okay, sorry.
I keep saying we got to take care of these guys and get back for lunch.
Yeah, it's soup and salad day.
Heck yeah.
I heard there was going to be punch and pie.
For such a little man, you sure have big stomach.
Okay, so Lightryder, as you have taken your...
Who you calling little?
Me.
So, Lightryder, as you have taken the last round to restore your systems, you are still, I would say, partially disabled, but you at least have a situational awareness and can move, but you cannot yet attack.
Okay. So what am I supposed to do?
So you are spending, essentially you've spent the last like several seconds of combat trying to restore the systems that were knocked out by the magnetic expulsion from this drill. So you're starting to fizzle back into focus. You have your comm link restored. You can see what's around you fairly okay. I would say that if you want to make an attack, it would be at a disadvantage. So I could give you a +2.
So can I just back away?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bravely. Hey guys, I think my comms are back on.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
We're through Phoenix.
All right.
So what do I do? I roll and it's a mobility, right?
You're fine as of right now.
Oh, I'm cool. I can just stay here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Sweet.
at this point, the other 3 mech and the Aeonic mech are pretty well distracted with the giant explosion that just happened
good.
behind you. So,
Oh, good.
okay. So it is now once again their turn. So I am going to need from Jack. I need a mobility test as this Aeonic mech turns and meets you exactly where you are.
That's a 5.
Okay, so that is a pass. So it once it
Jack's
brings
got the
down.
voodoo today,
I don't
man.
think they're gonna catch me. I'm like,
So
Actually having all the good luck. Meanwhile, my rolls are just like, ugh.
you see once again this giant beam weapon, and he kind of does like the Obi-Wan spin with it, and just takes a swipe down towards you. But because of your nimbleness and your small size, you are able to very easily dodge this massive Hulk attack.
what up, Aeonic boy?
So because JD has moved away, I am going to say that the other 3
Bravely.
mecha,
Bravely.
the other 3 mecha, one of them, the one that you injured earlier, JD, is going to head your way, and then the other 2 are going to engage their jump jets, one towards Ralph and one towards Cygnus. So I need Lightryder, Ralph, and Cygnus all to roll mobility checks for me, please.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, I rolled a 1.
I'll roll a
Okay.
4.
Okay, Cygnus?
That's a failure by 1.
Okay, so Ralph and Lightryder, both of you succeed. Ralph displaying uncharacteristic nimbleness for this giant hulking mech as the mortar comes back down and comes back down to the back of your mech. Cygnus, as this just factory supply mecha comes down towards you, it is going to try and hit you with its shield bash, which it does, and you take 4 points of damage from that.
Okay.
Sickness, no!
I thought it was well hidden. God damn it! Why?
Well, they definitely know where you are now. Actually, hang on. What did you roll on your mobility test? Because I should have been giving you.
15.
You rolled a what?
15.
A 15. Oh, never mind. I forgot to take into account the cover that you are behind. So that gives you a buff to your cover. So it goes to try and bash you with its shield, but manages to just ping off of the battleship metal instead, and just misses you.
Wait.
Okay.
Aha, mother.
And it's now your turn.
Aha.
Actually, wait,
Okay.
hang on. Turrets. One of them is still trained on Ralph. Go ahead and roll another mobility test for me, Ralph.
Is that the one that's been partially disabled?
No, there's still one that hasn't been touched yet.
So that's an 8. That's going to pass.
Okay, cool. You are clear. Continuing on that that very uncharacteristic display of nimbleness as this mecha recruit jump jets in towards your position, and this turret is laser on. Cygnus, it is now your turn.
Wait. Can I? Let's see. One of the enemy mechs are on me, right?
Yes.
Can I ambush him? Like the ambush.
I think that because of you are definitely not hidden from him right now. He knows where you are.
Damn. Okay.
Nice try though.
All right. I'll take out my sword and try to see if I can slice him up in half.
Okay, go ahead and roll a power test for me.
18.
So that is a failure. So you, unaccustomed to changing weapons in this quick of a manner, you pull out the sword and kind of try and backhand it across this mech, and it just scrapes across the chest arm. No penalty.
Not my day today.
If you want to roll again, you can for an attack, but you'd have to test your reactor if it's that.
Sure, why not?
Okay, go ahead and roll a power test again.
I rolled a 9.
Okay, and that is another failure for you,
Yep.
unfortunately. So go ahead and roll your reactor die. So that is a D6.
4.
A 4? Okay, so
Yes.
that's a success. So you managed to take those 2 attacks quickly and not what your mech is used to enduring. And again, you've now slashed a crisscross in the chest of this mecha, but no penetrative power, unfortunately. Ralph, it is your turn again.
Okay. So if I understand that right, we can take an extra attack or move action if we test the reactor.
Correct.
Okay. First things first. Are we with the chain gun? Can Ralph have a free hand to do an unarmed melee attack, or?
The chain gun is considered a heavy weapon, so it is unfortunately a 2-handed weapon.
Do we need to take a turn to drop a weapon or free a hand?
I would say that you could take a use action to drop a weapon.
Okay, and we have 3 actions per turn, right?
Correct.
Okay. First things first, Ralph's gonna train a chain gun on the Aeon Mecha.
Okay.
Yes.
Rolled a 3.
All right, so that is definitely a success for you.
Yep.
So go ahead and roll your damage.
Where's a 10? Give me a 10.
Get him, Romeo. Hold him down.
And 6.
Okay. It is
So,
badly injured, but it is still standing.
Okay. So Ralph is going to take a second shot with the chain gun.
Okay.
So
Finish him.
do I need to roll my reactor first or after?
Roll your power test first, and then we'll deal with the reactor afterward.
Rolled a 9.
Okay, that is another success. Go ahead and roll your damage.
7.
All right, it is barely clinging on as you are ripping just full pieces of armor plating off of this thing, not even able to, it's not even able to keep up its energy shield at this point. Your explosion completely knocked that out, but it is does still have some kinetic absorbers, but at this point it is so badly hurt that it is just being ripped into pieces.
Okay, now I need to do reactor, right?
Yes, now you need to roll a reactor die.
3.
Okay, so that is a pass. So even though you are not used to the stress of firing this chain gun more than once and managing to compensate for such a heavy weapon, you do manage to keep your reactor stable. All right.
All right, so Ralph's going to end that.
man, this thing can take a beating.
All right, and we are back up to the top of initiative, which means Quinn, it is your turn.
All right. I'm still grappled into the chain on the head, correct?
Correct.
Cool. Where exactly in the body is the controller of the mech?
From your understanding of this,
'Cause we don't understand the aeonics completely yet.
Yeah, so from as far as what you know about mecha, it is typically in the chest plate area, but you're really not sure.
I would like to use my auto crossbow to absolutely smash everything from the chest up.
Okay, go ahead and roll a power test for me.
Power test?
Yep.
That's 9.
Okay, that is a success for you, yes?
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your d6 damage.
Is it 1d6?
1d6.
1d6.
Yep.
That's a 5.
Okay, so you managed to do enough damage to it, even past its kinetic absorbers, and as you're grappled, you basically just fire the chain shot straight into the chest, and the arrow goes straight through this giant metallic crossbow bolt, goes straight through the chest of this machine, and it's not blood that coats the arrow. It is like this greenish amniotic type.
It's a ghost.
But it is enough where the lights in the head unit of this mecha flicker for a moment. And as it begins to fall backwards, you kind of are still holding onto the chain. And it starts to take you with it because it is absolutely massive in comparison to you. So you kind of just like fall with this Aeonic mecha. But you have successfully felled it.
That bull into the ground.
I'm leaving it to you, Nightrider.
All right, Lightryder, it is your turn. You have that one injured mech who just keeps persistently following you. Your systems are fully restored at this point. What would you like?
Time to throw the kitchen sink at this guy.
Do it.
Let's just sword him through the chest.
All right.
Finish him off.
Go ahead and roll a power test for me.
And that's an 11, and that passes because I got a 13.
All right, go ahead and roll your D8 damage die.
And that's a 7.
All right, you cleave it pretty much just straight in half. It's like this thing just came at you and you just made it commit seppuku.
Finally. Tired of him following me around looking at my butt.
All right. Is that all you would like to do on your turn? From where you stand...
let's regroup here. What do I see here?
Yeah, so from where you stand right now, there are 2 mecha left standing, one on your companion Ralph in the distance, as well as your companion Signus, which you can't really make out, but you do see him as a blip on your HUD. But you can also see the heat signature of the enemy mech on top of him. So,
can I jump jet to Ralph and...
Yeah.
Am I too... Yeah, so let me jump jet to Ralph and get this guy off of him.
Okay, I need you to go ahead and roll a reactor die as you engage your jump jets.
Alrighty. And that's a 3.
Okay, so that's a pass.
Okay, and then...
So now are you attempting to attack again?
Yeah, I'll attack the guy that's on Romeo.
Okay, go ahead and roll your power test for me.
Do it, Juliet.
And that's a 16. Oh, no.
All right, so that is a fail, unfortunately. So again, just like the last time, you are still having trouble.
I'm sorry.
I got cocky. Hey, listen, at least I've distracted him for a second. You just settle down, Romeo. Settle down
over here.
You're still kind of getting used to the feel of the jump jets, and I'm having a hard time.
A little bit, okay?
You're having a hard time planning trajectories as your systems. You're having a hard time planning trajectories as your systems have just come back online, and they're still fizzling a little bit from the magnetic activity. And you once again
not my fault.
Come down and just miss it.
It's your fault.
All right, so that is it. Oh, I do need you to roll another reactor test for me.
This is what happens when you skip maintenance for a sandwich.
I was hungry, okay? I was hungry. It really was. And it had that sauce. At any rate.
That's a 6.
All right, so that is a pass. So you managed to, through all of your maneuvers this round, the extended stress on your mecha, you managed to keep your reactor under control. I had it the whole time, guys. I had it the whole time. Everything's fine. You relax.
Phoenix, just wait till I repair your mech. I want to see how many problems come up with your recklessness.
Don't doubt me.
All right. So at this point,
You're gonna be busy, Mosh.
So at this point,
you might be a little busy.
Remaining 2 mecha that are on top of Ralph and Cygnus seem to turn back towards the drill, realizing that the Aeonic mech has fallen. And now it is no longer a point of offense, and it is a point of defense. Both of them engage their jump jets yet again and hop back towards the drill, willing to lay their lives on the line in order to protect this very precious piece of machinery. So they are now back within Quinn's range, and Lightryder, you went towards Ralph. So They are back within Quinn's range. One turret is still untouched. The other one is mostly disabled. Yes, Ralph.
So if they're moving out from close range, do we get any attacks of opportunity on that or no?
Unfortunately, because they are utilizing a jump jet, the reaction time is enough to where you guys would not be able to swipe before they were out of your range.
Okay.
Yep. So it is now Cygnus's turn.
Sweet. Okay. If they move back, are they still within range of my bow?
Yes, definitely.
I want to shoot the guy that came and attacked me.
Okay, go for it.
I rolled a 1.
That is a critical success. I need you to roll 2d6 damage.
Nice shot.
Where's the cheer, JD?
That is the 10.
All right. As you
Nice shot,
As
Joker.
it comes through our comm link.
Ah, finally!
As you loose this arrow predestined to exact revenge upon the fact that you could not land a hit on this mecha, your last attempt to do so, as it is jumping away, you pierce it out of the sky and it falls limp with a giant boom, and there's a little mushroom cloud as it falls. Just a little
That's
one.
right. Don't listen. That's right. Deserve to die.
All right. Cygnus, is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
That sucker.
I want to go to the fallen Ionic mecha. And, see
Okay,
if there's...
so that is quite a distance from you, so I'll say you spend the rest of your turn getting that way. Getting that area. So Ralph, it is your turn. You still see on the battlefield one untouched turret as well as one of the mecha recruits headed back.
I'm going to ignore the little turret and not let this man get away.
Okay.
Oh, fail.
Oh, dang it.
Oh, no.
So that was with the chain gun.
Okay.
It was a 15. I've got a +2 on a 16, so I fail on that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is a failure. So you are trying to essentially snipe it out of the sky, something that you are definitely not in tune with doing. And the shot just goes wide.
Bah.
Quinn, it is now your turn as this mecha recruit lands probably about 20 meters away from you towards the drill.
So I have to take an action to get up, or am I?
I would say that if you want to take a use action to drop your chain, that would be an option. But if you wanted to retrieve your chain, that's going to be an action to do that.
Okay. And you said this other mech, it was within near distance of me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think what I would like to do, am I face down or am I on my back?
I would say you're kind of like rodeo riding it, so like you're probably on your feet, planted like on this thing's chest, hanging onto the chain. You're nimble enough to where you could.
JD is still having trouble with this other one here, correct?
Oh no, he just annihilated it.
Oh, he just annihilated.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely
so
annihilated it.
There's only
What
the
you talking
partial-
about?
There's
I'm making
one
waffles.
left. There is one left.
in the morning.
I'm making waffles.
Okay, so in the general scope of the area, what there's a turret. Is it the turret that was?
There is one turret that has still been untouched. There is the one
Okay,
that you
and there's-
disabled, and then there is one mecha recruit.
And where is this mecha recruit?
It is about 20 meters behind, towards the
Okay.
drill.
I am not going to let go of the chain. I am going to roll over, and I am going to take I am going to shoot at the leg joint with my auto crossbow at this other mech.
Okay, go for it. If you want to take an aimed shot, it'll be a +2 to your power test.
Power test, perfect.
Mhm.
That is a 12 and a 14, so that is a fail.
Okay. So you take an aim shot as you are trying to acrobatically get around this, and you aim down with a weapon that you don't use all that often, but long enough to where you are aiming at the knee joint, and it's just enough to where it just goes right through the legs.
What a perfect shot.
It would be amazing if you were not trying to disable the mech. All right, Lightryder, it is your turn. You are still next to your compatriot, Ralph.
Is the guy next to Ralph?
Is the guy next to Ralph still alive,
Nope.
or is he dead?
The only
He dead?
mech that is left standing is the one close to Quinn, and there is still
All right.
a turret.
All right, let me take out this turret. If I hear the word turret one more time, I'm gonna lose it. Where's this turret at? Let me go for it.
Okay, go ahead and roll a power test.
I like it. That's a 9.
Which is a pass for you, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll your d8 damage die.
That's a 4.
Okay, so you deal 4 damage to this other turret. It looks like it is badly wounded, but still capable of firing.
Oh, for the love of everything holy! Shoot it in the shooting it with like.
Are you gonna shoot it again?
The crap out of it. Yes.
Okay, go ahead and roll another power test for me.
What I believe we should always have Phoenix fed before our next mission. I feel like he does bad on an empty stomach.
Agreed.
And that's a 17.
Okay, so that one is unfortunately a failure. Go ahead and roll your reactor die for me.
Told you should have that second sandwich.
And that's a 1.
Okay, so your reactor would downgrade. Have you used your one with the machine yet?
Yep.
Okay, so your reactor downgrades by 1 step, so it is now a D6 instead of a D4. So as you go to...
You mean instead of a D8?
Or, yeah, sorry, instead of a D8. Jesus. Bleh.
Right? No, I'm making sure.
Yeah,
if he's rolling a D6,
It's a D6.
if he's rolling a D8, he rolls a D6.
Yeah, it's, yep.
Yeah.
So he
I was rolling
downgrades
a
1
D8.
step. Yeah, you downgrade one step to a
I'm
D6.
on a D6 now.
Yes.
Oh.
So as you take a shot towards this turret for the second time, you are getting a little hangry and a little uncontrolled with your targeting, and you miss, and your reactor responds to your increased anger through your one with the machine. It kind of works both ways, unfortunately, and your reactor overheats. So
I am telling the maintenance crew next time to install an emergency sandwich compartment for you.
all right.
Romeo, roger that.
Fantastic.
So
I mean, I think it's a really good addition to the mech.
So at this point, the one remaining mecha is just booking it towards this drill, and is trying to get to what you assumed would be like the communications outpost. It's like a little shed off to the side of the drill, and it just booking it that way. So it really has no interest in fighting at this point. It's trying to call for help. The turret that was mostly disabled at this point has just completely gone offline. It is no longer usable. The other turret that Lightryder just took a couple of shots at is still trained on the one who absolutely just decimated an entire area next to this drill. So, Ralph, I need you to make another mobility check for me.
He must not
fail.
Okay, so that is gonna be... wait, that's it.
At least it wasn't a crit fail. I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be embarrassing on a turret.
So you take 3 points of damage.
Okay.
All right, and that leads us back to Cygnus.
Boy. Can I still shoot with the mech that's running away from where I'm at by the Ionic mech?
I would say at this point it has wrapped around the side of the drill and you have lost sight of it. Now, if you wanted to move to try and gain sight of it because you can still see the thermal sensor on your HUD, I would say that you could probably take a move action and then attack.
Nah, I'm gonna let Ralph handle that one. I'm gonna just examine this Ionic mech that's fallen down and see if I can get anything useful.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're in. Yeah, I would say it's still trying to get around the other side. So at this point, both you and Quinn have lost sight of the other mecha, but you can still see the blip on your HUD. So, Ralph, it is your turn.
So does Ralph have a line on this fleeing mech?
No.
At this point,
Not from your
no.
distance.
Okay. Does he have enough mobility to even get into a line of sight?
I would say I would say it would take 2 move actions to get within a line of sight on the fleeing mech. There is still the issue of the turret as well. Because you have one that is still capable of firing and trained on you.
Yeah.
So.
So Ralph's going to make a little bit of a tactical decision here.
I need to leave the escaping ones to the faster friends. I'm going to take out the turret.
Okay, go for it. Go ahead and roll a power test for me.
1.
That is a critical success. So you get, I think it's 2d10 damage.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What does it have, like 1 hit point left?
It has 2.
We have been powered up.
Overkill.
It's a 6.
Okay, so yeah, as you aim with your chain gun towards this turret who has just been pestering you this whole time, you manage to find a line straight into its guts. And as you do so, it just goes, the massive bullet just goes straight into it, and it just explodes in this giant fireball. Not enough to affect the folks who are around you or who are around it, but enough to be a beacon in the night. All right, and we are.
Likes big boom.
Is that it for your turn, Ralph?
I'm going to start moving down to back up the smaller mechs near the Aeonic mech.
Okay. All right, so that brings us back up to the top of the initiative order to Quinn.
Is it just the turret left, or are we pursuing?
It's just the one mecha left.
Okay, I'm gonna use my turn to pull the chain and rip the head off the Aeonic.
Okay. Are you gonna keep the Aeonic mech's head on the chain and try and use it as an? Okay, as an. I like it. I like it. Okay, cool.
All right. What are we? Is that even a roll, or is that just?
I like
action?
your.
Nah, you got it. I'll say
there.
I'll say that it's a use action to do that. Yeah.
Oh.
Did you just pull
I actually ripped my headset out when I did it.
That's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Couldn't handle it.
All right. So now what do you wish to do? You now have this giant Aeonic mech head on a chain, and there is one little assembly line mech running away. The drill is still going.
To spin the chain over my head and launch the Aeonic head at the turret.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and test power for me.
That's a 6.
Okay, which is a success for you, yeah?
Yes.
Awesome sauce. Okay, so I'm going to say that because this is an improvised weapon and not one that you're proficient with as far as, like, you know, giant mech head.
First time.
I will say that this is a D4 damage.
D4?
Yeah.
Okay. 1?
Okay, so you manage to swing this mech head and just you clip off the head unit of the fleeing mecha, but it is still running.
Wait, I hit the fleeing mech? What?
Yeah,
It's
the turret's
headless.
already dead. The turret's already dead, so I figured you missed.
And it's running away. I love it.
Yep. It is quite literally running away like a chicken with its head cut off.
It's fantastic.
Proud of you, buddy.
10 out of 10.
All right,
Gotta take you out
so
to dinner.
at this point, again, a giant boom and thunderous as the drill goes another layer down, and you all feel the repercussions of this magnetic field hitting you. I need all of you to roll a systems check.
I got 11.
Okay, and that is a pass
3.
for you. All right.
I'm a
I got a
9,
10.
straight on it.
Oh, right on it. Tie
Okay.
goes to the runner.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Ralph and Lightryder, once again, your systems are disabled for a hot minute.
Oh, no.
So,
I got a lot of systems for my system's strong.
Hello.
so
You got me.
at this point, the one remaining mech is still just fleeing towards this communication shack, not retaliating at this point, and the drill, which you know is your mission to shut down, is still running. So, Lightryder, unfortunately, you are disabled. So it is Signus' turn.
Okay. Shit. I can't still see him anymore.
No,
right?
he is completely out of sight at this point. The only person who would still be capable of seeing him is Quinn, and he is just edging out of Quinn's vision as well.
Okay. Can I make a report to the commander and try to see what he says about what I found on the ionic mech's body as I start doing research on or continue?
So I will say, as a quick side note, you guys don't have a commanding officer yet, but you can report back to HQ if you'd like.
Okay. I want to report to HQ then.
Okay. What are you trying to discover on this mech?
So discover the technology that's used, especially within that lightsaber sword that he has, or any type of materials used that can possibly help with upgrading everyone's mechs.
Okay, I'm gonna have you go ahead and roll a systems check for me.
Mosh wants that beam saber.
Okay, so that is a critical success on that. So I will say that you are able to extract an intel chip from within the mecha. So as you are looking through it in your mech, you manage to pull the sword, but then you see a glint of something crystalline within the interior of where Quinn had pierced the hull. And you just take a quick hop out of your mech, as it is safe to do so for right now, as the only enemy that remains in the mech. And you pull out a data chip that's probably, I'd say, a little bit bigger than a deck of cards. And you hop right back into your mech and report back that you have attained some interesting intel.
Roger.
All right, Ralph, what would you like to?
Well, at this point, have my systems come back up, or what's going on?
So at this point, I would say, yeah, you're probably going to need another turn to get that sorted out, fortunately.
Okay, so nothing I can do other than just silently rage against the inside of the cockpit.
Yeah, you're kind of just screaming in Russian at this point.
I know one phrase in Russian. I'm not going to say it. It is not appropriate, so let's move on.
All right. So, Quinn, we're back up to you again. And you are now advancing on the... you are now, at this point, able to see the inner workings of this drill, and you see a console that could potentially disable it. Well, what would you like to do?
I just cut out of every sound. What just happened?
So it's your turn. You are now advancing onto the drill itself. Mm-hmm. It is huge. It was massive when you saw it, but at this distance, the panels that make up the structure of the base are at least 3 times the size of your mecha. It is massive, and you lose sight of the top of it as you look up.
3 times bigger than my mech is not saying a lot.
Well, in retrospect, it's probably about
towers over me.
It towers over all of you. It towers over all of you.
And what exactly is the drill doing now?
So the drill is still just continuing to drill into this planet's core. Yeah, you can see
moves like a pile driver is what she said.
Essentially, if you've seen offshore drills and how the mechanisms work for that, mm-hmm. And it looks like from the general area where you guys advanced, there's also a mm-hmm. conveyor belt that seems to be heading off towards somewhere oceanic.
And what are we seeing at the origin of the point of the drill? What are we seeing in the center?
At the center, you predominantly see just the absolute mass of this metallic installation. Okay. And go ahead and roll a systems check for me.
5. That's a pass.
Okay, so as you are advancing upon this drill, there doesn't seem to be necessarily an entrance. Mm-hmm. However, as you continue to run after this mech who is now fleeing the battlefield, you notice a panel off to the side. And as it catches your attention, you go over and inspect it and open it up, and there is a massive, essentially ionic battery that seems to be a couple of these could probably power a drill of this size.
Am I able to pull this out? Would my mech
Absolutely.
have the strength too?
Yep.
Okay, I would like to try to pull one of the batteries out.
Okay, go ahead and test power for me. Yeah, go ahead and test power for me, just to make sure that, just to see if you have enough actual strength to wrench out this battery.
Quinn's weak. I got a 16.
All right, so
Damn, boy,
you're working on it, and you're trying, and you're pulling with all of your tiny mech might, but unfortunately, it's just not quite enough to get it out.
Quinn. Do you lift, bro?
It's like a squirrel trying to take down an elephant.
Pretty much.
As you can tell, I'm straining.
Quinn, looks like I gotta take you to the gym, buddy. Time to get some reps in.
Would you like to do anything else on your turn, Quinn?
I thought that was the whole thing.
I mean, that's pretty much the most part of what you can do, but if you want to abandon trying to pull that out and take an additional move action, you probably could.
Is that gonna do a reactor roll?
No.
Can I back up and try to shoot at it with my bow?
Sure. What could possibly go wrong?
Everything. Literally everything.
Okay, go for it. Roll a power test.
An 8.
Okay, yeah, you succeed. Go ahead and roll your d6 damage die.
This is destiny right here.
Oh god.
3.
Okay, so you pull back and engage your automated crossbow at this giant ionic battery, and
So intelligent.
and as it fires into the structure of it, it pierces the glass, and the interference with the metallic crossbow bolt is enough to disengage the battery.
Oh, I didn't die this time. Let's go.
Good job, Quinn.
I was expecting we'd be picking up parts of Quinn's mech.
Not today. Probably tomorrow.
All right. So, Lightryder, your systems come back online as you take in the surroundings once again and see that Cygnus or Ralph is no longer near you at this point. He is taken off.
I understand why.
But Ralph is still disabled. He is currently just chilling on the battlefield, but you are...
So is his mech like completely...
It's not completely disabled, but it's enough to where he's going to have to he had to take an entire round to get his systems to come back online.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You might hear, if you were close enough, you might hear...
How's his reactor?
On the inside.
His reactor's intact, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just taken those magnetic fields twice.
Yeah, I think that yours is the only one that you've downgraded at this point.
All right. So what's next on our mission? Do we need who's
disable the drill at this point? Is what remains, as far as you can tell.
How far away from the drill am I?
I would say that you are within one move action of getting there.
Oh, cool. Well, let's get over there and let's just jump jet over there and we'll destroy the thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Battery.
Yeah, we'll just destroy it. What's the best way to destroy this?
So from your intel from Quinn, as your systems were coming back online, you would have heard him over the comms talk about shooting the battery, because what could possibly go wrong?
Oh, yeah. Okay. And that worked. All right. Well,
Yeah.
let me put my
charm.
Let me put my sword in it now. Then.
Okay.
Well,
so you advance to with Quinn's assistance.
Just stick a fork in the outlet, JD.
let's just no. My sword is insulated. There's no way that my sword has insulation. It's not like I'm gonna get electrocuted from this thing. I'm a giant mechanical. I'm fine. It's fine.
Okay, so for the sake of brevity,
I'm fine, Deceiver. It's fine. Don't worry. I'll stick by. I'm just gonna stick my sword in the heart.
For the sake of brevity on this, I will say that with Quinn's assistance, you managed to find the remaining batteries, disable them through one means or another by ripping them out or brute forcing it.
Sticking my sword in it.
Yep.
Yo, Lightryder fist bump.
And as you disable the final battery, you hear in your comms, as well as what seems like an exterior kind of voice, say, "Training simulation complete. Well done, pilots."
See, that's why I shot the battery. I do.
So as the mission comes to an end, you hear a familiar female voice, and as the projected imagery around you begins to turn static and slowly fade, you hear a ksh as the simulation pod around you opens. You take a moment for your eyes to adjust before disembarking from the pods. Before you is a large room with several rows of simulation pods, just like the one that you are each housed in. This particular block has 4 pods stationed near the middle of the room. And with that, we are going to go ahead and take a quick 10-minute break. And we will come back and assess the aftermath of this, what you now know to be a training simulation.
Hype. Just want to throw it out there. I've almost died twice.
But did
So who
you
wants to go grab
die?
lunch?
But did I die?
'Cause I don't
Did
think-
you die?
But did you die?
No, you did not.
And we are back. So, without further ado, as you all have now disembarked from your pods, your simulation pods. All right, cool. So, as you exit and your eyes and bodies fully adjust to the change in environment, you see a petite woman with cropped purple and green hair and a tattoo on her left eye. The familiar voice echoes, "Well done, pilots. See to your stations." You all stand at attention next to your respective pods. The movement is instinctual, as most of you have trained in these pods since you were mere children. The woman who you now recognize as Director Noboru Akira begins to walk towards you, leaving in her wake another man that you do not recognize. "Captain Hawkins," the Director Akira says to the man. "What are your thoughts on this?" So, Captain Hawkins, if you would like to introduce yourself to the rest of the party.
Yes. So, watching the simulation, you show good group cohesion. You were able to communicate between each other well. Quinn, you were able to scout the first wave of enemies and be able to relay that back. Very good. However, I will say, I hope the other 3 didn't take you off guard. Your stealth kill at the beginning, I was actually very impressed with that. You kept the others on their toes. His comrades seemed to not know where it was coming from. Cygnus, using the terrain, I was very impressed with that. You were able to rain down arrows, assisting your team, and nobody was the wiser until later on. Ralph, your ability with the mortar, I will say, good job. You seem to have been able to use that quite well.
Thank you,
And
sir.
Finally, Lightryder. You might have been a bit hasty out there, but your ability to get in and out of combat was very impressive. You show a good amount of reflex on your surprise attack into a defensive stance. And when you went to help Ralph out, I was also impressed. Overall, you guys did really well together. Like I said before, not taking into effect the other 3 mecha that appeared, that could have been very costly, but you dealt with it very well. The Ionic mech that you ran into, however, it was undetected. You didn't seem to blink. You were all able to band together to defeat it. You all showed the ability to work well with your mechs and each other, and your teamwork was very impressive.
Sir, if I may, you know who we are, but I think I speak for all of SABER when I say, who the heck are you?
Are you in
Sorry,
charge?
Director, but
I'm your captain, Gray Hawkins.
Please forgive him, sir. He needs a sandwich.
So at this
Sir,
point, Director Akira steps forward and says to each of you, She surveys you, looks over to Captain Hawkins, nods. You all have been training for many, many years, most of your lives, in fact. But you're missing a key part of your team. That is a captain, squad commander. Your SABER unit in particular, SABER Unit 12, is one of the most elite that we have ever trained. Your ability to mesh man with machine is that of the bleeding edge that the Iron Dawn Terran Collective mind have to offer. We face a very real threat as the Nishimura, this siege ship that we are all upon, is making its final approach towards the space-time rift and back home to Lodestar Alpha. I understand that all of you are young, and none of you will remember home. Been away for almost 200 years. Most of the people on this ship don't remember home. However, we banded together, Neo-Dominion and Terran Collective peoples alike, in order to take out this aeonic primacy threat that is destroying and leaving swaths of nothing but terror and destruction on our home, our star system, Lodestar Alpha. I understand that all of you, the four of you, have worked well together in the past several years. And this recommendation of your commanding officer does not come lightly. Captain Hawkins has live combat training, as well as a wealth of knowledge on the aeonic primacy's technology. His intel and his strategic ability to lead will be very valuable to you. Well. Now, as for this evening, you all have a very large celebration coming tomorrow. And she steps forward towards the four of you and hands you a device no larger, but much slimmer than a deck of cards. This device is unfamiliar to you. It is sleek in design and seems to be on the cutting edge of any technology that you know. Tomorrow, go ahead.
What is this device?
She's about to explain.
Okay.
Tomorrow is your official graduation. However, as you well know, as I had just stated, we are making our final approach towards the space-time rift. I do not expect us to reach it before dawn. With that in mind, however, these will help you to be prepared. And upon further inspection for all of you, you have seen these on the mecha pilots who are ready for deployment. These are deployment pages, issued only to those who are deemed ready and worthy for live combat. Not a lot of people have this, as SABER units 1 through 4 were annihilated long ago. So all that remains now is 5 through 11, until technically you were presented with these pages. You've proven yourself capable of defending not only the people of the siege ship, but upon our return home, you will join the rank and file of those pilots who will defend all of Lodestar Alpha. These pagers serve as your primary point of contact with the Nishimura and with each other. They are small yet powerful devices capable of transmitting messages across entire systems. Should you be in a position where these might fall into enemy hands, they have a built-in voice-activated self-destruction purge system. And she reaches out a spare pager as she has one equipped on her side. And she says into it, Hakai. And you see this fizzle of lightning, static electricity envelop this small device, and in a blink of an eye, it is turned to dust. Yes, Quinn.
Could it be used as a weapon?
Damn it, Quinn.
Sorry. She looks at you, mildly concerned.
Me
Is
too.
it alright if I hit Quinn?
All of us.
And says, within the right application, potentially. However, I must preface it with, if you lose these, you lose contact with home base. And as long as you are not within comlink range of each other, you lose contact with each other as well.
Affirmative.
So, in a dire situation, potentially. However, I...
Open that up in the old vault.
Yeah.
So, Commander, what you're saying is, if we're about to die and maybe possibly survive, if our pages are destroyed, we're on our own.
I think we have bigger problems if we're down to a pager as our only offense weapon.
I don't know. If Quinn puts it on a chain, it could work.
Possibly.
She,
Ralph gets it.
She covers her mouth and, gives a little bit of a chuckle. And then regains her composure. Now then, head back to your bunk room. We'll be making our final approach to the rift, so you should expect some gravitational fluctuation. I assume all of you know the proper procedure for that, correct? You do.
Ma'am.
Good.
But, Commander, before we go, can we take Phoenix out to eat? This poor guy hasn't eaten anything all day.
Of course, what you do with the rest of your evening is up to you.
Get this man a sandwich.
Yes, ma'am. Have a nice night.
Of course. Remember to be prepared, and when you hear the gravitational alarms, you know where your bars are, so be prepared for that as well. Rest well. Tomorrow is a big day for you all.
Yes, ma'am.
And she about faces and walks off. So, just the 5 of you now. Well, the 4 of you, plus your new captain.
I want to walk up to our captain and shake hands and give him a nice greeting to the group. Captain,
And I'm walking off to the...
How are you doing today, sir? Nice to meet you. Welcome to our small yet wild group.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I would like to approach the commander and give him a hug. Let him know it's going to be okay.
Thanks.
I think Ralph is gonna just like palm Jester's head, pull him back, and just shake his head while saluting the commander.
Wow.
That's a good nod to Ralph.
You know, while that happens, I'm gonna go with Phoenix and escort him to the cafeteria and make sure he doesn't get lost on the way.
I'm annoyed already back over getting a sandwich. That's what I'm
He
doing.
just
Getting
turned
some
and just
food.
walking straight to the mess hall.
Yeah. Good
I'm about
boy.
it.
Phoenix, don't forget
Is Cygnus next to me? Is Cygnus with me?
Yeah, I think so at this point.
All right, Cygnus, I don't trust this new guy. I don't know. Look, I don't know why the director's messing up the vibe that we've got with 4 completely. We know exactly what the other's doing. I just don't trust him, man. I don't know.
It's okay, Phoenix.
I don't know why you touched him like that either. It made me a little uncomfortable.
It's okay, Phoenix.
He looked like he needed a hug.
Sorry, I just realized I said the wrong name earlier. I didn't mean Joker.
Oh,
I meant
no, you
Quinn.
definitely meant me.
Deceiver. Yeah.
Definitely meant me.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I would actually like to question Hawkins about his mech. Does he have a mech?
Yes.
Ah.
Oh, the plot thickens.
What capabilities does your mech have, and what type of mech are you?
Well, seeing as I would know yours, I guess that's only fair. Striker class mech, equipped with a high-power sniper rifle and a up-close and personal weapon of my choosing.
Oh, damn.
Well, that was vague.
Well, I mean, we're at the mess hall. It doesn't
You
matter.
weren't there to hear it.
In other words, it is for him to know and you to find out.
Thank you, Ralph.
All right. Are we at the mess hall yet?
I'd say that, yeah,
Yeah.
you guys have gotten there at this point.
I'll talk to Phoenix for a bit and then head off to my engineering lab and
Okay.
work on the information that I received. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back to the commander because I got a question for him.
Certainly.
So, Commander, for all your battle experience and technologies that you have knowledge about, would you care to share some of that information with me since I'm the engineer and I would like to upgrade our group's weapons, mechs, and anything else if possible?
Yeah. Well, the enemy technology is definitely unlike what we use now, where there's a sleek and professional, there's a bit more bulky. So adopting that type of technology might prove to be harder, but with the right tools and mindset, I'm sure you can get it done.
Sir, I'm pretty sure I should be good with that. I was raised in the slums, sir. I have no problem with learning and adapting.
For sure.
As long as I'm given knowledge and as long as I'm given time to learn about it, it should be perfectly fine, sir.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Full trust
Marge,
in that.
move the thing in front of your camera.
Yeah, half of your view is blocked.
My bad.
Thanks, Theo.
Sorry, I was trying to find a break, but you guys, yeah. Go on. Moving on.
And with that, I'll
I
head
would-
off to my laboratory and start working.
I would like to meet. Is it Phoenix? I'd like to meet Cygnus in his lab. And I would like to question him about adding something to the chain.
Ooh, ahead.
Okay.
Electricity.
Ooh.
Ahead. Yeah, just at the end.
Just at the end.
It was very good in combat.
A giant mecha head. I love it.
Why do I
That's
feel like there's a
great.
Monty Python joke here? Ooh, it's
There
got a
is-
knob on the end.
there is-
Probably.
Uh-oh. Quick heads up. Make sure you knock. I have security on my last Bible.
Oh, sorry. I kick in the door.
I
Ding
hear the
dong.
sound. I'm like, God damn it. And I hear the voice of security protocols have engaged.
Security? I live here.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's turn the security power off, power down. Who the hell decided to break into my laboratory?
Hey. You probably don't recognize me out of my mech. I'm Quinn.
Cool.
You're also
Hi,
like peering down at me too.
I'm like peering down at you, like pissed off. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I just told Commander that no one's allowed to break in with unless they have a type of business or common. I'm pretty sure I've specified.
Oh, I got
knock on the
business.
door.
Oh, I got business.
All right. What would you like for me to do for you today?
So you saw how effective the chain was. I would like to make it more effective.
How so?
I would like to add arcing electricity to the chain itself. Run wiring through the links and run so much electricity from my actual mech that it arcs out of the chain.
So you would like electricity to share through between the power of your mech through your chains.
It's Epion's heat whip.
Okay. Give me details of your mech first, then, like the battery, power supply, whatever, and I'll see what I can do. You may have to leave your chains and mech here as well.
Those would be easy enough for you guys to access.
Okay.
You don't really know right now, currently, where your mechs are being housed, but once you have that information, because as of right now, and this would be a little bit of kind of retroactive information that you would have been given before your mission. at your graduation ceremony tomorrow, you know that you will be presented with your mechs that have been custom outfitted for you. They are still in the process of being in the production process. So tomorrow,
My mechs? What?
yeah. So tomorrow,
Yeah, because there was a training mission. We haven't even seen our real ones yet.
yes. So Cygnus, essentially, what you have been tinkering with at this point, I would say would be the mock-up of what you want, and you have sent those blueprints to command. What all of you have essentially done at this point. So the mechs that you have been piloting in the simulation have been sent to be put into general production. So, and you will be presented with them tomorrow.
Yeah.
General production. I'm still unhappy with general production. I'm like, no, mine has to be unique. Only mine. Can't share my baby with anybody else.
So I definitely texted the details to Signus.
All right.
Yep.
Boop. He got it. He knows.
Cool.
Right. So as we're all kind of having this moment of rest and food for those who are hangry, and intellectual and mechanical stimulation for those of us who are interested in those kinds of things, why don't we go around and describe what each of your pilots look like? Because we know, other than Captain Hawkins, what everyone's mechs look like at this point. So let's go ahead and we'll start with Captain Hawkins.
Oh, geez. Okay, so he's a fairly tall man, standing around 6'2", long purple hair, slicked back, and in a typical military garb. He gives the air of kind of a professional, but not to the point where it's like an intimidating military personnel. He doesn't have a hard look, just, you know, a prim and proper look after so long in the forces.
All right, Quinn.
So the first thing I will say about Quinn, Quinn has always been the runt of the pack. He is significantly smaller than everybody else. He has baby blue eyes, jet black hair, a very small but muscular build. Yeah, so I'm much smaller than most of the other applicants and members of the Iron Dawn. As this is, I also have a smaller mech. Most of the time, you can find me in my Iron Dawn jumpsuit and a set of combat boots.
All right, Lightryder. Are you there?
I think JD went to get go food.
I am there. No, I'm here the whole time. Let's see. So
you're just not allowed to see him eat.
Yeah,
I'm pretty average. Yeah, no, I'm pretty average. I'm like 5'10". I'm kind of normal. I have an awesome beard. I kind of look like me because that's how creative I got with it.
That's totally fine.
But I mean, I'm pretty laid back. I'm just also very loyal to the people in our team and around our squad because we've been together a long time. So, yeah.
Yeah. You guys all have been training. Quinn, being the youngest of the group, has probably the least experience amongst all of you, and his battle tactics and willingness to rush into situations kind of showcases that immaturity a little bit.
Only a little.
But the rest of you have been
His butt to scratch.
training with the SABER program since you were probably around the age of 9, give or take. So you've been training for pretty much the entirety of your lives. Ralph. Go ahead
I have
and grab
another
your
piece
pilot.
to add after too.
Ralph
I
is
totally forgot.
very much like his mech. He's a little bit larger than most around him, standing about 6'5". Keeps almost a clean shaven head with basically, you know, kind of fuzz, military buzz cut. Clean face, quite lean looking in the face, pretty muscular, but there's a bit of a gut hanging over. and somebody needs to pop out of the chat.
What
there we
happened?
go.
Who was
I
that?
think Kyan just jumped in.
That
Oh,
was Kane. Yeah.
oh God, it scared me.
But he's almost always got a smile on his face. Doesn't seem to take anything seriously until push comes to shove. But yeah, and has no problem making light of just about anything or anyone, because not much is a physical threat to him.
I do have another piece to add that I forgot.
Go for it.
So there's a very large notable scar on the left side of Quinn's neck. This has a chip underneath it. Essentially reads my vitals, my regulatory information. I don't know very much about it though.
All right. Last but not least, we have Cygnus.
So Cygnus is a bit different from you guys. He also joined recently, but he was not in at a young age. He was actually recruited by a commander because of my abilities with engineering and making my mech, as you guys saw in the simulation training. So what happened was there was some type of battle going on, and they crash-landed to where I was staying. Some of their mechs and soldiers were injured, so I patched them up and fixed their mechs while working on my own. We had a bit of a discussion here and there, and that's how I'm here. I have brown skin, age 21, white hair, and that's all it is. And I really don't have a place that slums that I'm attached to, because it was pretty much of a rough life with dealing with a bunch of other gangs, hoodlums, and just trying to find peace away from all that. So
Okay.
engineering is my favorite part.
Yeah, and Quinn, as you kind of busted into his general engineering lab, you see it's just littered with all kinds of tech that he's tinkering with. It seems that Cygnus's hands are never idle, as he is working away.
Cygnus, I would like to note that my character is also a tinkerer.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we can
As
definitely
long as you don't
tinker
mess
together.
anything up, Quinn, I swear.
Well, I'm gonna mess everything up. It's gonna be bad.
Make sure I'm gonna kick you out of my laboratory.
It's gonna be on the ceiling. It's gonna be on the walls.
I
I'm sorry.
love it. All right, so as you all go to your respective tasks for the evening before preparing for bed, you retrieve sustenance, you tinker away, and you get some awkward and mildly tense introductions out of the way. You all eventually head back to your bunk room, which up until now has had one unoccupied bunk. So there was room for 5 folks in the bunk room, and now you know who that bunk belongs to, as you all have settled in for the evening, and Captain Hawkins enters into the bunk room with a bag over his shoulder and just walking right on in.
What's up, Commander? How you doing? Welcome to our little humble abode.
Oh, thank you for having me. Where is the free bed? I should probably take my stuff to there.
Points in the direction of the empty bed. Over there, sir.
Oh, thank you, Cygnus. Just going to make my way over to the bed and offload anything in my duffel.
Meanwhile, he does that. I come over to the guys and like, since we have a commander here, we gotta throw not really initiation, but a little small party. So I go over to like my little where I keep my secret stash and pull out some good old rum, slam it to the ground. It's party time, guys. We gotta at least celebrate for our new commander.
Which I just want to note that in this universe, glass doesn't really exist as a commodity. So he pulls out this it is a metallic bottle. And it looks like it's a repurposed mech artillery shell that has been molded and shaped into this bottle. And it just king, and you kind of hear the whoop 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 of the liquid on the inside, like how the metallic sound does that. It just slams it, and probably the entire line of barracks hears this bottle slam on the ground.
Gunpowder spiced rum, my favorite.
Yes. Commander,
So-
sincere than you got to go first. Hands the bottle to the commander.
I'm gonna take a bit of a sniff from it first.
It smells like rum with a mild hint of gunpowder.
Well, thank you very much, Cygnus. No, I'm pleased to be here, and thank you for having me. And I'm gonna take a quick guzzle of it.
Okay. It tastes awful.
Yeah, I bet it does.
I may be a tinkerer. I'm not sure I'm doing it. I'll get to that sooner or later, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
See that you
like
do.
it's like bad like dollar store spiced rum mixed with like gritty like black powder taste.
Then you're up next, buddy.
I take the shell, kind of swish it around a little, give it a little smell, and hand it off to Ralph.
You always were a lightweight, Quinn.
So Ralph's gonna just kind of look at Quinn and kind of like scoff at him a little bit. But little man probably takes a good 3 or 4 hard chugs of this thing before passing it off to Phoenix. A Lightryder.
And I take a little bit of it, but not too much because that stuff tastes terrible. Cygnus, can you do something about this? This is awful. why-
Give me some time. I'll work on it.
You would think that making it in a used artillery shell just may be impacting the taste. It's got a zing to it, that's for sure, Joker.
I'll try my best, Lightryder. But as
It's
of
got
right
a
now,
zing
I've
to
been busy with a bunch of other projects, so it's gonna take some time. But definitely, next one's gonna be a lot better than this one. I can guarantee you that much.
Perfect.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, that's
I am not.
No, I'm not.
I take the shell from Lightryder, hold in my hand, go to Quinn, pinch his nose, open his mouth, and force a couple of things down. And then take some for myself.
That's fantastic. Get the little guy drunk. That's great. That's great.
Coughing
From
and
this
just,
day forward,
I'm
we
having
are
an awful
family.
time now.
We are
Throat is
family.
burning.
Yeah.
We are family. We are loyal to
Cygnus,
each
what
other.
is this?
It's an adult drink, young
awful.
laddie.
Oh, awful.
Ralph just lets out a satisfying.
I love how you pushed the soundboard and you didn't even open your mouth when you did it. That's fantastic.
It just reverberates through his lips.
Yeah, pretty much. All
That's
right.
enough.
So as you celebrate and in your own interesting ways get ready for to turn in for bed, you know that tomorrow is going to be a big day. And you know that at some point in time, it is highly likely that your sleep will be disturbed. However, you all bunker down for the evening, preparing yourselves for the big day ahead of you. And that is where we're going to go ahead and end the session for tonight, you guys. Oh my gosh, that was fantastic. You guys did so well. I'm so proud of you all.
This was a blast. I didn't know what
This
to
was a lot of
expect,
fun.
and just yeah.
I honestly thought you were gonna shoot a huge mortar at me. I won't lie. when you were like, what's the splash on it? I was like, enough to kill me.
Yeah.
Well,
Ralph may be a goon, but he's not all that dumb.
so now you know that your mortar is a 20-meter radius splash and deals 4d4 damage.
Are there
Me
any
and
other
Ralph are gonna be good
disadvantages
friends,
to
I
it, or
can
is
say.
it only like once per encounter? Or
One,
is it
yeah,
once
pretty much
per
once
long
per
rest?
once per encounter. Like once per time that you are able to go back to base and have it reloaded, essentially.
How long would you say
Okay.
my chain is?
So short rest. Okay.
Yeah, essentially. So
Jack.
so
Really?
I would say that
Heyo.
let's see.
Jack.
A
chain,
typical mech stands probably at least I would say your chain's probably 20 to 30 feet. Give or take.
Sick.
So
All right, Ralph, I'm gonna chain him. You're gonna drop a bomb on him.
Love it.
Yeah, Quinn, there's two things. Never bring it to my laboratory again. And two, once the business is done, I need you to leave. I don't like anyone staying in my lab watching over what I do.
Wow.
You got me drunk.
Wow. Yeah, you did like force him to drink alcohol.
And to convert that, because I realized that I said meters and then I described your chain as in feet. So your chain is probably about 15 to like 10 to 15 meters. Say.
Okay, cool. Okay.
So
Got this.
enough to where if you chained something, and that's the total length. So that's not accounting for wrapping it around your arm to be able to control it, as well as any wrapping that it would do around an opponent. So probably not keep you outside of the splash damage of the giant mortar shell if you were chaining
I can
something.
always let go.
This is true.
Yeah. Always
This
let
is
go.
So how are we feeling, guys? Did you guys enjoy? Is this
That was fun.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Very
freaking
fun.
awesome.
Loved it.
I'm really just
Awesome.
happy my character didn't die.
You really?
I finally got the rolls I needed. Like, holy hell.
I don't think. Did you even take any damage at all?
No.
Me?
Yeah, Quinn. I know
Yeah,
Ralph took some
I
damage.
took 2 armor points of damage.
Okay, right. So,
Yeah.
but you didn't take
Yeah,
any
I
hit
took
point
2 armor
damage.
points.
That was
No.
all me though, because my reactor.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one who actually got hit, and it was like a total of like 13
Yeah.
points. Or
got
I'm
lucky
sorry,
hiding
like 3 or
fire.
4 points.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
4 points of damage total. This was definitely
um,
meant to be like not a terribly difficult encounter. So
Where this was like a simulation, we didn't actually take any.
yeah, everything
Yeah, it was
that
a sim anyway.
yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna change
any
that back to my skill
damage
sheet before I forget.
yeah, any damage to armor or hit points that you would have taken is negated. However, because for those of you who did use your one with the machine, until you complete a long rest, you do not have access to that again. Because
Is overnight a long rest or no?
yeah, long rest is considered a full night's sleep.
Okay, so then I can take that away now, right?
Yeah,
I've
so you
used it
guys can
once,
go ahead and
yeah.
refresh that because you're gonna be getting a long rest. And
Okay, cool.
we'll pick up the next session as we'll be in the midst of completing that. So
Okay.
But at this point, you guys have celebrated your final training simulation. You
Good
have
job, guys.
met your new captain for SABER Unit 12, and tomorrow you will graduate and be presented with your fully completed mechs.
Will there
Very
be punch
nice,
and
very
pie?
nice.
Potentially.
I do have a question about the game.
Yes.
When it comes to encounters like that,
Mm-hmm.
how do you do leveling and how do you do experience?
So, as far as leveling, I tend to use milestone leveling. So once you guys complete like a specific milestone, I'll let you know, hey, you're now level 2.
Okay. And what comes with leveling? I didn't really see a lot of it in the
Yeah. So leveling comes with you can gain additional modules. You can gain properties to your weapons as well as your hit points, and I believe also your ability scores at some levels can increase.
Modules at 3, 6, and 9, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
How do I get new outfits?
That's cosmetic, so that would be you would have to talk to
You buy
Cygnus
loot
about that.
All in loot crates.
Loot crates. Yeah.
Fraz is selling loot crates.
Mecha hack loot crates.
Cygnus, I need my revolver to
You're
match
one
my
second
armor.
Ah.
Okay. Work on
That'll
that,
pass
Joker.
this long.
Don't worry, JD. Write me up what you want.
Okay,
I'll
I
work
just
on it.
needed
as soon
to.
as
I
I'm
just
done
need
with
them to
stuff.
match. They just need to match. That's
Oh,
all.
that's
Cygnus starts like
fantastic.
rattling a freaking like paint can. He's like, I got this.
It's nothing fancy. I just need, black on gold on black on gold. It's fine. I mean,
All
can
right.
you do
Just for
pink
special
neon?
favor? Yes,
If you can do
style.
pink neon, I think we'll
I
talk.
can do
we'll
that,
talk.
and just for free, I'll even tag along your whole entire Phoenix logo as well.
I
There
like
you
it.
go.
I like it.
Beauty.
Oh, so here's a quick thing. By the way, I also charge for my services.
No, wait. No.
That was a part of the deal.
That was part of the
All
deal.
right, guys.
Where's that alcohol in the bullet?
I
made
do.
out pretty good. I got his work and I got some of the drink. Let's go.
I do have to go ahead and wrap up the stream because I have to
100%.
get on the road. So, but thank you guys again
safe.
so much for hanging out and playing. I am so stoked to see what happens with this future session. So, thank you guys again so much, and have a fantastic rest of your night, guys.
You as well, Fraz. Thank you for putting this together.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it.
Love it.
Yes. It's very cool.
I mean, I haven't played a lot of tabletop, but I mean, this is much more entertaining than the ones I have played.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
the
really cool.
that's the benefit of it being a very rules light. Is that
It's the mech. I think it's the mech for me because like any other variant that I've played is like World of Darkness or D&D or like
Fantasy setting
like-
where
it's
this is
like-
a huge
It's a
difference.
different
ranger.
setting. It's a different setting, different
I'm a
stuff to
rogue.
talk about. Yeah, it's cool.
Yep.